This is where the fun begins.
Good morning here from Cali, and welcome to OG Star Wars channel. And this is your coffee chat, and I'm happy to be here with you. And the most important question is, what are you enjoying? What's in your mug this morning or afternoon? And good morning, Stig. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Drinking water.
Nice. Yeah, I know you said you weren't feeling that well last night, so you're continuing to still. Are you getting better at least now?
I don't know. I just woke up 30 minutes ago.
You're like,
But,
let my body wake up to determine this, please.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I have water. That's all I know.
Okay, that's all you know. All right. So we have people hopping on here, but so far we have Zagarat315 who is chilling and waiting for us to begin. Cheers to you. Good morning, Alora, Stig, and Chat. Good morning to you. And we have Lord Thoth. Hi, everyone, and hello to you. And good morning from Cali, from the east or the west coast. And Miss Martin uses her signature hand wave with Rose. I always love that. She's always consistent. Thank you. And what are you enjoying this morning? And Christopher Barker. Hey, Alora. Me and Daniel were watching Star Trek TNG Season 1, which was just finished. Overall, a piss poor start to a series.
Who's Daniel?
I don't know who is Daniel. But the thing is like I've heard other people say similar things on Twitter. I am a very casual fan when it comes to Star Trek. So I feel bad for you guys if that's the start of it. Hopefully it picks up.
Oh, apparently it does.
Okay.
TNG is, the good one.
Oh, okay.
I tried to watch it too, but it was, Will Wheaton's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's insanely annoying. So I just made it to 10 episodes, and I'm like, I'm not watching this.
It's good, but just he's annoying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extremely so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm very casual when it comes to Star Trek. My grandmother who raised me, she was more of a Star Trek person as I was more of a Star Wars person. But both of them were shared in the house equally. So, which is fun. All right. Well, hopefully, you really get into it and enjoy it. All that. I wish you well with that. Miss Martin Muse's honey bun flavored coffee. Yum. Sounds good. My coffee,
Honey bun flavored coffee.
Yes, honey bun flavored coffee is what she said. Or what she chatted. You say that with a lot of spite in your voice. My coffee, my stomach doesn't fare well with the lactose cow milk. So I have coconut cream with a little bit of vanilla flavoring to that coconut cream for my coffee. So yeah. Let's see here. And Steve got quiet. Lord Thoth, morning. And then Miss Martin Muses, season 1 sucked, but it picks up in season 2. Okay. All right. Well, that's good because sometimes that's a hit and miss these days. We all know that. That's a hit and miss with, any of these series that come out, like which way they're going to take them. How is it going to be? It's going to be divisive? Is it going to have any woke politics in there? About diversity politics that just don't go with the story.
Well, Star Trek doesn't have the woke issues, the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
But it's gone past that, it's Earth.
Yeah.
Everyone's human and all that.
Yeah.
So when they push woke stuff into that one, it makes no sense. I mean, they had what's her name? Janeway was a female Star Trek captain. What was it? I keep forgetting the name of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That was like more than 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'm very casual, so I don't know exactly this
So
extent of
there's,
that.
no need for woke politics in Star Trek because,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
all those politics were, solved
Yeah.
hundreds of years ago before the show starts.
Yeah. Okay. Great points there. Awesome. And thank you, Christopher Barker. Laura is a honey bun. And today I'm sporting some green lightsaber earrings, and I do have a shirt that basically is free words of wisdom from Yoda. And then it has a little and take, it just has like, take your words of wisdom kind of pull tabs on there. So yeah. So I'm sporting a
And
little
then
bit
it'd
of
be like, people ripped them off, and they're like, people really needed wisdom today because my abs are showing.
Yep, my abs are showing. Look at my abs. All right.
The words of wisdom were abstract.
Oh, there you go. Very much abstract.
Yeah.
It was absolutely wise for them to take it.
Yeah. They could stomach it.
Yes. Seth, Thirot. Okay. French vanilla coffee. Nice. All right. And then let's see here. Christopher Barker. Oh, there's woke politics in the first season. Okay.
Okay.
I don't, like I said, I don't know the extent of that. That's why we had this
Oh, it's
conversation.
probably a lot to do with Will Wheaton. They have to represent the retards through him. So apparently he's worse in real life from what I've seen.
But you have to represent everything and everyone today. In fact, I had a retard that got mad because of the fact that I've shared like a picture of a comic on my Twitter saying, do you notice any similarities to episode 7? And they got on their full Disney, I guess you could say, Star Wars shill, and just went off on there. And yeah, so. And then another, I've been getting people who stick up for the direction Disney Star Wars takes with hyperspace use, hyperdrive, hyperspace use.
Yeah, which
So
contradicts the movies.
Yeah, I know. And so I posted about that this morning. And so Tim Open Airlock had a few choice words about that, which was kind of amusing, but he was to the point. Yeah, to the point. So you guys have to check that out. All right. So Voyager. Okay, let's see here. Voyager. Let's see here. Okay, Christopher Barker. Do you know Troy is just a chick that feels things?
Yeah. The actress is terrible. I mean, really bad. And she's known for wearing a push-up bra on Star Trek. That's it. And then she's been on Twitter ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Zachrat 315. Nice shirt, Allure. Coconut cream in my coffee. Yeah, that's me. I have to there's only a few things, like some cheeses I can eat okay, and yogurts. Butter's okay because it doesn't have that much lactose in it. And then Raj H, Canadian 199 super sticker, and I don't have that in front of me. I should have opened up my phone here, but thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. In fact, my support coming out to people who are members, and it's not too late to become a member of my channel. And so here it is. So channel members who attend every live streams between August, which is now, we're in August, and my birthday's next Thursday, so I'm going to have a birthday coffee chat. We're going to have fun. It's not going to be like a party thing, I don't think. We're still going to review comics, but I'm going to try to do something special that day, that morning. So, but from August through October, any members who attend a scheduled live stream will be entered to win a copy of Mistress of Rat Attack, and that is the painting I did, and let me show you real quick. Here she is. So you will receive a copy of that. And I'm very excited about that, to be able to give back to channel members. So it's not too late to become a member of the channel. And in fact, I do have a couple of channel members in here, like Miss Martin Muses. Hello, how are you doing? And she was the first one to purchase merch from me as well. So she was
one of the first to bought stuff from me as well.
Yeah.
The top 5 shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days later, after she got it, she got COVID.
That's right. Your merch is deadly. Well, not
Yeah,
necessarily deadly, but yeah.
I've sold 4 shirts, and I think 2 of the people who bought them got COVID. So
Oh, two,
yeah,
two out of so half the people,
yeah.
half of them.
So yeah, if you
That's
want time off work, buy a shirt.
buy one of his shirts from his merch line because you might be able to get some vacation during that time.
Hmm.
Oh Lord, that's crazy. And did Raj H did give me a thumbs up, so thank you. I opened up my other so I could see because StreamYards does not allow you to see what stickers are happening here. But here
Yeah,
is
I've
the
actually never seen a sticker.
yeah, okay.
Don't know what they look like.
Okay. And here is the August schedule so far. September will come out towards the end of the month, but Thursday coffee chats are always 9 a.m. unless something's going on and I announce otherwise. And then on the 10th, Talking EU with Matt Wilkins, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The 14th, Talking EU with Open Airlock Policy, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And on the 21st, Literature Review at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Following up with the 23rd, a special members, collaboration member stream with Tim, Open Airlock Policy on my channel. Deets will come out soon regarding that. And this is
Member
the
stream sounds like a
yes.
guy pissing.
Oh my God, no.
Oh, watch a man urinate in the
Oh my
pond.
God, no. Like your picture you sent on when I asked about like show me your high school pictures.
I didn't have one, so I was like, I have another one. Let's post that.
Yeah, you're like, this is when I was 10. Like what? How many years later? Like 7 years before I graduated from high school.
Mm-hmm.
And you were very proud of that picture, proud of your pose and that picture. Obviously,
What happened was I think my sister took it
uh-huh.
while my mom was doing something, and my mom didn't know until she got the pictures developed, right?
Yeah,
Because you'd get an envelope and she'd take it home and we'd look at it, and she saw that one
yeah.
and she knew she hadn't taken it. So there was a drama.
Your poor mom. You like, how many times have you stunned her? It's like with your X-Wing getup. And then I'm like very curious how many times you've given that poor woman a heart attack. Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, let's see here. We'll move on to the comic here pretty quick. Whoopsie. Stig's Mercy is disease.
Yeah, she means merch.
Merch. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. The Lord dive into the Sith shrine in the Jedi Temple that weekend in Jedi. That weekend, the Jedi abilities.
Which is actually why you're not allowed to buy my merch.
Why?
I don't want to be known as the guy who made the Native Americans sick by giving them clothes.
Our killed because our immune systems are proven to be very different.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right. So let's get into the comic here. Never a dull moment on Coffee Chat. And I have Miss Ayla as my avatar here. Look how gorgeous she looks there.
Yeah.
There she
I have a
is.
beardy fella.
Yeah, you have a beardy fella. Yeah. All right. Oh, and then I was going to share them here, but I did make the thumbnails for Tim and Matt Wilkins for the live streams. And so I asked those who I interviewed for Talking EU who are their favorite characters, and I use that very favorite character on the thumbnail, right? So, Kip Duran is Matt Wilkins' favorite Star Wars character, EU character, and then Wedge is Tim's. And I was looking at them, and I'm like, holy heck, Matt Wilkins looks very similar to Kip Duran, and then so does Tim looks very similar to Wedge. I'm like, they can cosplay those characters very well.
When someone say you look like Kip Duran, that's not a compliment.
What is that?
It's
Why
an
is that?
emo. Kip Duran is an emo.
He's an emo, huh?
Yep.
What if people like that though?
Yeah, well, people do watch Twilight, so who knows?
Who knows? All right. So this is these are the next two series that we've been reading that, is from Rebel Girl, I guess you could say. And these last ones here, basically their title is A Shattered Hope. And so we get into some little bit more adventure with our OT heroes here. So this is a pretty nice cover, more paintish kind of than anything else. That's how I see that. And here we go. And so after a long search, it seems that the Rebel Alliance has found a planet to call home, Rosher, where it could establish permanent base. All that was required was for Princess Leia to marry that world's prince. Princess Leia, but though the prince's intentions were pure, those with the truer power on Rosher had struck a deal with the Empire to help destroy the rebellion. So we knew that became a basically a trap. And Rosher, the prince handler, basically had other plans and basically almost destroyed the monarchy there, really. And the Rebel Alliance had barely fled with their lives. After narrowly escaping the Empire's trap, the rebels are safe, though they are once again homeless. Leia blames herself for the disaster on Rosher, has withdrawn from her friends, rededicating herself to the future of the Alliance. And but across the galaxy, events are unfolding, which will require Leia's attention and the help of those that are closest to her. Oh, so we get her. She's kind of like, stepping away from her friends. This is early. This is like few months after, Yavin. And, of course, she has a lot of weight on her shoulders. She lost her planet. She's trying to find a secure base because they lost their base as well. All of that. And so she kind of steps away from her friends, but she's still there for the Rebel Alliance, unlike what we've seen in the new lore. Just saying. So she's still dedicated to the cause and stuff, yet, she has to step away from friendships to be dedicated. And, she's also mourning. So this is, I think, better arc than what we see with Luke and even Leia in the Disney trilogy. Just saying. All right. This is the image that I posted on my Twitter that someone went berserks about. The Disney Star Wars shill went berserks about on my thing this morning. Oh, well, they bought it and they can do whatever they want. Of course, they're going to mine the old canon for sources, is basically what they said. So there you go. So again, this looks similar to Jakku, right? With Rey climbing up into the ship and all this. This lady, right? Her name is Siren Song, and this is Lothoth or Lotho
Minor.
Lotho. I can't even freaking say that word because, okay, so I even noticed like Lothoth or whatever Rebel series use that name for. It's very similar to that, but it's a junkyard planet. This is a junkyard planet, as you can see. All right, let me just sip some water here. And so we have Song here. She's being tracked by, lo and behold, look who she's being attracted by. So
yeah, an IG droid.
And we find out who that is. And so she realizes she's being tracked, and you could see, with their sensors and stuff, and, him dialing in on her and starting to shoot and stuff. And so we know that this lady, Song, Siren Song, is in some trouble here, and we will find out who she is here pretty soon. And basically, out of all the low-life bounty hunters in the galaxy, I get stuck with the killer droid hunting me. I haven't slept in 2 days. And And then she's like calling out to her droid R400, asking if he's sleeping. And I think she gets to her ship, looks like it. And then, nice to hear your voice, little guy. Yeah, so it's her droid. And you're right where you're supposed to be. It's lonely, I bet. So she hops in, tries to escape, fires up her ship and blasts away. And she has her little talk with her droid here. And then she says, Agent double back to Agent Command. Extraction code 111, coordinates to follow. Extraction code 111, coordinates to follow. Do you copy, Agent Command? So she's sending out a distress, extraction code here to get her out of there. And she's still being followed by, the bounty hunter. So now we're at the home one, the Rebel fleet. And basically you see any idea what this is about. And then so we have Han and Luke here and Leia. And so this kind of, like I said, this is after Arosher, after everything had fallen out over there. Rebels escaped with their lives. They have no base. They're still hiding in space, trying to elude the Empire, all of that. And then so basically, again, he says, any idea what's that about? He goes, if you don't know, kid, Her Royal Highness and I haven't been getting along too well since Arosher. And then, of course, Luke is like, compassionate. Why? What happened? And apparently I'm insensitive. And she comes in. And I was telling Stig that the dynamics between Leia and Han are picking up a lot in this. And it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, and then, of course, she calls Solo's attention and wants them to join her. And then, of course, Luke is like, hi, Leia. And she's like very nice to him compared to how she's acting towards Han. So what do you think about the art, Stig, for this one?
It's better than the last one, but it's still a bit, I've seen better.
Yeah.
But, it's the characters, the faces that look a bit off.
Yeah.
The background stuff and all that is excellent.
Yeah. Would you say they're like cartoonish then in this?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like they were going with realism with a little bit of cartoonish kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like it when it gets cartoonish.
Okay.
This,
that's why you don't like Tartakovsky's art or his. Yeah, you like the story, you just don't like the art.
Yeah, and I thought it was stupid when Mace Windu defeated 200 droids with his fists. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was exaggerated, but some people really like that. Okay. And then so Leia does get the distress call from Serene Song, and and she lets them know, and they ask who she is, and Leia tells them that she's an intelligent agent. And Luke, they're looking at her picture, and Luke notices that how they look familiar. Her and Leia look familiar or similar, and so she goes on further. She tells them that they played together as children. Their parents were her parents were the Dantooine delegates to the Imperial Senate, and then they were friends with her father. So she's given them the history of why she got this extraction code from her and who she is, because no one knows who Serene Song is. In fact, this is, I think, her first and only appearance in the Star Wars in the series, or in.
I think she's. I think she shows up a little bit later too.
Oh, in the comics?
I think so, as a side character.
Okay, all right. Because I haven't gotten that far, other though I just skipped to one certain comic that I wanted to read, and but other than that, yeah. And then so she tells them that she hasn't seen her in at least a decade. So that's a very long time. She is an intelligent agent that went undercover to, help, collect data intelligence for the rebels, right? And then Luke asks, she's working for the rebellion. And basically Leia says she's only just found that out. So basically even that part was kept from her until now. So that's interesting, to say the least. And then she tells him earlier, I totally received a distress call from Saren, yeah, from Agent Song, broadcast from Lotho Minor. A naked call for help sent over commercial hollow net carrier. So it wasn't coded. This was basically through the regular hollow nets. And that she used her name. Talk about like being foolish, I guess you could say. And then so Han asks a trap, and she basically follows up, I don't think so. Agent Song's been in deep cover for years. Apparently she could be holding very valuable information on par with the Death Star battle plans, perhaps. So, she kind of excuses her mishap of sending the code out through the commercial hollow net, which compromises them in a sense, or could, because she's an agent. But do you think that agents can use secure channels instead? That they would know better? That was just my little question there. So what do you think, Stig?
Depends on when the secure channels were put up. That's one thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it could be desperation, though. She's just sending it to anyone who will listen.
Exactly. And like she said, she hasn't really seen Leia for decades, right? Or at least a couple of decades, or a decade or so.
Well, it's probably less than that. I mean, Leia would be 9 a decade ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she was exaggerating on that. But basically, she hasn't seen her for quite a long time, which means that she needs to get to her somehow. She needs to communicate with her somehow, some way, shape, or form, right? So you're going to be desperate. So basically, this is a desperate measure, most likely. And then, let me see, did I skip a page? No, I didn't. All right. And then basically Han says, no one's that lucky, sister. And then in case you hadn't noticed, Han, we've had a bad luck recent. We could use some good news, basically. And she basically tells him Mom Mothma has authorized me, basically Leia, to call and pull Serene out, to the call to pull her out. So basically to extract her, get her out of harm's way. And so, Luke asks if it's a rescue mission, and then Han's like, wait a minute here, hold on. The old lady had the Falcon's repair requisition on hold for weeks because of lack of money and materials. No way is she wasting the fleet on some wild goose chase. And basically Leia says, well, it's your lucky day, Captain. Your authorization to pull from the ship's stores as much supplies as you need for a 10-day mission, and repairs to your ship got underway 30 minutes ago. So basically she's like, yep, you got, priority. You're getting repaired. You're getting supplies, and we're going to do this. And basically Han's like, I don't understand. He's got a confused face here. And again, I agree with you, Stig, on some of the facials here and how it looks. Some of it's like, whoa, okay.
It's not that it's terrible. It's just
it's not.
It's just off.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's terrible, but I do agree it's off a little, and that's fine. That's fair enough. And basically, she says, "You're right. Mon Mothma won't waste fleet on this, but she will waste a non-official half-junked old space freighter." Ooh, that's digging into that's digging into his pride right there.
What a bitch.
I told you they have some crazy dynamics going on in this right here. That was like a slap in the face when it came to his ship and his pride, right?
Yeah. It's like him going, well, at least I have a home planet.
Right. He's like, at least my home planet is still intact.
Yeah. Your whole planet is junk.
Oh my God. And I was gonna skip over these last two comics in the small series to go to the next one, to the Empire ones, and then I was talking with Stig. Then I went ahead and read them. I'm like, no, we need to go ahead and review these because they're fun. They have some great dynamics between Han and Leia and stuff like that. So yeah. So we know that the Millennium Falcon got repaired, got restocked, all of that for this mission here, which kind of put like Han in an awkward position in a sense.
Ever notice in Star Wars comics, the characters always tend to lean against the doorways and stuff?
Okay. Now
it happens a lot. Look at Han; he's doing it right there, and
yeah,
it's something to pay attention to because it happens a lot. Notice
okay.
I can't unsee it now. They're always leaning.
Mm-hmm.
Lazy bastards.
You lazy bastards. All right. So Han is over there talking with Chewie now. Yeah, well, nothing ever comes free or easy. Last time we went on a rescue mission, well, at least we're not walking into an Imperial detention center. These were practically the old good days. And oh, never mind the smell, basically someone says, because that's not him talking. And they go into basically the cabin here, one of the cabins here. And you see it's like total bachelor, I guess you could say, but no, I don't think all bachelors are messy or whatever, but I'm just saying this is the quarters here.
Speaking as one, yes.
Okay, all right, then I stand corrected.
A messy home is a sign of an active mind.
Okay. All right. So they go and look in here for sleeping quarters, and basically she's like, what is that? And then Luke says, it smells of smugglers wanted by the Empire, the Hutts, and dozen other galactic cartels. Oh, and his Wookiee friend lives here too. And she goes, it's so unique. And don't worry about it. Even Ben Kenobi couldn't sleep in here. She's like, I can't do it. So we finally get it, like a glimpse into the sleeping quarters of the Millennium Falcon.
Also, it reminds us that the trip they took from Mos Eisley, it wasn't just a couple of hours. It was
correct,
probably days. Which again, it wasn't showcased that well in the movie.
Oh yeah, it wasn't, and to each their own on that, but we know that it takes time to travel, in hyperspace. It cuts a lot of time down because it would take lifetimes to travel, right? But still, it takes a while, even in hyperspace, hours to even weeks, right? So
yeah,
2 days to weeks.
Christopher Barker in the chat didn't know Disney made Tarkin gay. Yeah, they did.
Oh my God! Yes, let me go ahead and take a look.
He has a relationship with what is it? TK-421, the stormtrooper.
Yes.
Yeah. Tarkin is now gay, so there's no Grand Muff for Tarkin anymore.
Grand Muff. And then hello to one of my channel members. So we have Lady Toriel, we have Orange Hat Reviews, and we have Miss Martin Hughes is here. And any channel members that gets to jump on today will have their name entered to win that painting. And Lady Toriel, it looks like junk, but outflies everything. Correct. The Millennium Falcon's amazing. All right, and then Christopher, yes. Yes.
And Lando sleeps with robots, and they changed his name. Yeah, they did. His name is Landonis Balthazar Calrissian now.
Yeah, Landonis Balthazar.
Yeah, it sounds like a cross-dresser.
Didn't you say it also sounds like someone who's trying to make a D&D wizard, like desperate name for D&D wizard?
Yeah, it sounds like that. So someone coming, I'm going to make a wizard character for my D&D, and it's going to be Landonis Balthazar. It sounds like that, stereotype bad wizard name.
Right. Oh my God. And it's crazy because I'm like, Balthazar, that's not that to me. Okay, yeah, they use common names, right? Luke,
Yeah.
for example, but Balthazar in Star Wars, the name being used, I don't know. It
Right.
doesn't feel that name to me. And that's just me. And you could probably prove me wrong, maybe, I don't know, on maybe that name still being in Star Wars, but Balthazar name in Star Wars,
Yeah.
Ladonis, Landon,
Landonis.
Landonis in Star Wars. It's all odd. It's all odd. It's like, we have these people coming from different franchises, or maybe they really like another franchise a lot more than Star Wars, and so they start inserting that stuff, like that woman, whatever name, Gray, who does the who does the hand salute, is it the Vulcan hand salute, or like wave or whatever, from Star Trek.
Yeah, Claudia Gray.
There we go, Claudia Gray. I'm like, I can't think of her first name. I just know her last name is Gray.
Yeah,
but
the lady who made it canon that Leia didn't want any Jedi training. She declined
Correct.
all of it. And then episode 9 happens and, oh, she's having Jedi training. So that means Claudia Gray's novel is now fake news.
Yeah, it's retconned or whatever.
Yeah, which they said they would never do.
Right. I don't know. It's a huge mess. It's like you can go and point all the retcons that try to fix the movies and then just destroys the lore even more. It's like they're in this this chaotic swirl of trying to make things make sense, and they can't, and it just makes it even worse. And it all happened. This all started when they decided to throw out the true canon of Star Wars, the EU. That was basically, the movies did initially do the foundation and everything had to expand off of it, right? But the EU really, really dug into that foundation even more. So, and without it, it's hard to make sense of anything anymore, So, and that's what's going on. And those people who like it, more power to you. But you can't deny the huge errors of that's inside the lore today, right? You can't deny any of it. You can't deny the retcons. You can't deny that the fact that EU characters that are being introduced are now being bastardized because it's not who they are anymore.
Christopher Walker says he has no faith in the Kenobi series. You know what? It doesn't even matter if it's great or bad. It doesn't matter because he's out there, protecting Luke and Leia. And Luke and Leia never mattered. Yeah. Anakin never mattered because Rey Palpatine was the chosen one. So the whole point of the first six movies and the characters in those six movies, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anakin didn't destroy the Sith. He wasn't the chosen one. All he did was set Palpatine back a few years. Like, no, there's nothing epic about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to sacrifice my life so that, they get put on hold for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And
then Orange Hat says, wonderful thing about Star Wars, it didn't have middle names. So here we go. And let's get on with this here. So basically, we get to see a glimpse into the sleeping quarters on the Falcon, right? We hardly get to see a lot with the Falcon other than, like the lounge area and the cockpit, and all that. We can only imagine what other areas look like, right? So we get to see that, and Han has, a blaster, looks like a blaster rifle here, clothes and everything strewn about everywhere. Just typical bachelor, it's like, it's here, I can reach for it and take off with it, right?
I identify with it.
You're like, I fully identify with that.
Yeah, I'm like, is this shirt clean? Looks clean. I'll put it on.
Smells clean.
Yeah, there's no food stuff on it.
Yeah. And the thing is, and then we'll move on, is that once, people get accustomed to their own smell, right? And the own smell of their home and stuff. So when someone comes in that's new to your area, sometimes they're not accustomed to the smell. So if the smell is kind of sour, doesn't smell good. The person who lives there gets accustomed to it, right? But the newcomers don't. And this is what we're seeing right here. So like the typical smells of Han, bachelor, being I wouldn't say unclean. Well, maybe that's the case or whatever. That's what they're getting is that, and Han thinks it's perfectly fine because he's accustomed to that. He's accustomed to what he smells.
Because he's manly.
He's manly. All the manly smells.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on.
You know what?
What?
They have refreshers, right? Bathrooms?
Yes.
So if you use that while in hyperspace,
Mm-hmm.
and someone has a really bad stomach, that smell is not going to go away. The whole ship is going to smell it because,
Mm-hmm.
the air isn't going anywhere. So that would be 2 weeks of, couldn't you hold it?
Well, depending on how well it's made too and how well it's kept. So who knows? But yeah, like if you travel on a bus that has a, bathroom in there, yeah, you do go in there and you do smell the use of it, right? And then so if someone goes in there with digestive issues.
I have a story about that.
Oh God, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, I was on a bus heading to the chef school. Went there every Sunday, and stayed at the school for the week. And the bus was packed, and someone used the bathroom. He went in there and came up 30 minutes later. And when it did, the whole bus smelled like shit. Oh. And I was like looking back to see what the fuck was going on. And I saw this passenger that was sitting in front of the little bathroom thing, right? And he was wearing glasses. And the glasses fogged up.
Oh.
From the
stench? From the stench?
Looked like that. He was just sitting there, pale-faced. Like
my God.
a thin guy with glasses, and the glasses fogged up. And then later on, I heard an old guy go, smell, And I was sitting there starting to laugh, right? Because it really smelled bad. And the old guy got out of his seat and was walking back towards, the back of the bus. And he was like, "Who created this smell? Let yourself be known." Right?
Yeah.
Reveal yourself. And he made it like a gagging sound, and then he cussed and sat back. But I was like, yeah, I know who it was. I saw him. But yeah, the smell was so bad, a guy's glasses fogged up.
Oh my God.
That's pretty epic.
That's pretty epic. You thought that was epic? That's so disgusting. Oh my God. Ugh. That's horrible. But yeah, holy crap. All right. So now hopefully I didn't lose any people from the chat from that. All right. So let's move on here. We have so Luke is questioning Leia about everything. So he says, Leia, did Mon Mothma really authorize this rescue? And so she follows up with, Mon Mothma has bigger problems, specifically the fact that Saren's unscripted HoloNet message probably lit up the fleet's location like a thermal detonator. So just like I said, so because she sent it over public HoloNet,
it's basically don't call me at work, right?
Yeah. And then right now, 3PO's randomizing a series of light speed jumps for the fleet to hide in for a couple of weeks. So now they have to scramble and basically not be found. Basically, lose sight from the Empire, right? So
yeah.
So that puts Mon Mothma in such a terrible position, right? Because she's the leader, she's trying to protect the rebels from being killed and stuff, and there are constantly being searched for by the Empire because they want to defeat them. They want to annihilate them, right?
You know what it reminds me of? When you see
Mhm,
horror movies, slashers, and you
mhm,
have the chick hiding in the closet or whatever,
mhm.
and then someone calls her cell phone while the killer's right outside the closet, right?
Yeah.
It's like, where are you? Are you hiding?
Are you
Yeah.
hiding? No
Well,
shit.
not anymore. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Let's see here. So basically, and then so she goes on. Best case, Siren Song comes back to us with a treasure trove of valuable intel, and worst case, we get an old friend back. The Alliance takes care of its own. Wake me up when we get to Lothal Minor. So basically, she's like, I'm not sleeping inside the cabin here. I'm going to sleep over here in the lounge area because she's like, I'm not going to do it. So, so we have Miss Song here. She's trying to escape, from the droid. Basically, it's IG-88. So she's trying to escape from him.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Looks like that's where they got Dr. Apra from. I mean, if you see that picture of her face,
Mm-hmm.
it would be fun to just post that little picture on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
on the some of the story groups Twitter, and say, hey, this new Dr. Apra comic was awesome, and just
Uh-huh.
see if they think it's Apra too.
Yeah.
And just go,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, that's EU.
Yeah. True. Yeah. It's kind of and that just proves a point too that, they take a lot. They do take a lot. And I understand the difference between being inspired and then basically totally ripping off something, right? There's
Yeah,
a huge difference
we've
between
seen piles of rip-offs from these comics since we started the coffee
that. Mhm.
chat.
Yeah,
I mean, the
exactly.
Mandalorian stole things left and right.
Mm-hmm. And it's easier to take this quote unquote source material that they never had, right? It's easier to take the comics and have them on you and look through them than to read a book and imagine things. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier
Yeah.
to take a visual and say, okay, well, I'm going to base, this scene's going to look exactly like this, even though it has nothing to do with this, or this world doesn't look like that.
Yeah, and it shows that those woke people, the SJWs,
Mm-hmm.
SJWs have created nothing that lasts.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and because they don't have the talent to create, because they're all
Yeah.
about their own politics and self-insertion. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, if you're reading a fantasy book or a comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to know about the characters and the story. You don't give a damn about the writer.
Correct.
That's just the name, right, of the guy or lady who wrote it. But these people seem to think they are the important part. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Yeah.
all about me. This is my story. Blah blah blah. I'm the creator of this. No, you're not.
Yeah.
And it's that little saying I came up with. That's in order to create, you have to be able to dream. But if you're too woke, you can't
Mm-hmm.
dream.
It's true.
Which is why they just leech onto established franchises like this,
Yeah.
and they use it as a head start to sell their shit, because
Mm-hmm.
if it has a Star Wars logo on it, right? People will buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that even goes with He-Man, even though He-Man doesn't have the extensive depth of lore like Star Wars or even Lord of the Rings does.
Yeah.
It does still proof that, it's just like this little board of like, okay, so let's just continue with our ideology here that doesn't really go with what the story really is about, but we want to push this because people want to not relate to the character anymore. They
Yeah.
want themselves inserted into the story, which I think is a huge mistake. Me, out of Star Wars, the one I really I wouldn't say identify with, but I related to is Luke Skywalker. He's a white male in the series, in the story, right? Not because of his gender, not because of his race, not because of any of that, but because of his experience, because of what he went through and what he became. And he, he was a sense of like, okay, so if I just stick to my goals and my plans or whatever, I can be successful no matter how much I get set back, right? And that was the thing I can relate to. It wasn't that I was inserting myself into him because I don't look like that. I am not that kind of person, like I am not even a Star Wars being because I'm not from that, right? That's fantasy. Now people want to relate themselves, insert themselves into these stories because they feel like they need some kind of look at me starting point here of, like.
Yeah. If all it takes is a skin color to make you identify with someone, you're only skin deep to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't identify with anyone in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I still watch it for the story and the characters. I mean, if I read a book, I don't want to read about me.
Yeah.
I want to read about Frodo and Luke Skywalker, what have you, right?
Oh, Frodo, yes. Yeah. But anyways, I won't get into that part. And yeah, we'll have some discussion about my reading so far here soon with Lord of the Rings. But yeah, and that's the thing here, is that this is pure escapism. I want to escape from myself a little bit. I want to escape from my reality for a little bit. Yeah, I can relate to these characters and I can be inspired by them after I'm done reading, but I don't want to be inserted in there. I don't have a need to see myself in there. That's not what escapism is about.
And that's why people are pissed as well at a lot of franchises, because people have always used comics, fantasy stories, sci-fi, what have you, as escapism. They're like, okay, all this noise on the news, and I want to get away from it, so I'm going to read a fantasy book. Now they're putting that noise into the fantasy books. It's everywhere, into the TV shows, comics, everywhere. So the escapism is taken away. I mean, trans people should have the same rights as everyone else, because they're human beings.
Yeah.
But I don't have to read about trans rights in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'll if I want to read about that, I'll take a quick glance at Twitter, and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Or global warming, right? I don't need to see global warming in every damn franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't relate to that franchise, right? Our global warming issues, whatever you want to call it, does not have anything to do with these make-believe fantasy franchise at all. We don't need to have that to preach to us through that, inserted in there to make awareness. If you want to make awareness with any causes that's going on in the world, do a nonprofit foundation. That's where you start. You start with that kind of thing, not with these escapism franchises, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever genre they're in. That's not the sticking point for that kind of political issue. You need to go outside of that and create awareness with nonprofits, campaigns, and all of that. Get people behind your causes through that area, not through our franchises. And I stand on that today.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So this is not where we're supposed to be going, but let's move on.
Yeah. Junk Planet. Dr. Apra is being chased by IG-88.
Yes, she is. And so basically, she's, trying to get away from him and stuff. No, I know what time I told you. I'm fine. Just haven't slept enough lately. Let's fire up the sensors passive only. And so she's trying to make her way to elude IG-88 here. Screens are clear. Lots of interface in the junk field, though. What do you think? And so she's communicating with her R4 right now, and nothing. And with her and her relationship with R4, it's kind of heartbreaking. And we'll get more into that as we finish up this little comic, these two comics that we're reviewing today. Nothing back from Leia either. But then again, I don't exactly follow protocol with transmission. Let's get out of here. So basically, she admits she didn't follow protocol. She needs a way to get a hold of her, so she didn't follow protocol. And that did, as Leia mentioned earlier, put Mon Mothma in such a predicament, right? So I do have a super chat from Lady Toriel. We read to go to another world, not to say to stay in this world, correct? And thank you so much, Lady Toriel, for the $5 super chat. You are amazing and thank you for this continued support. She's one of my early channel members, and since the creation of the channel for George Lucas era of Star Wars, she's been an avid supporter as well. Thank you so much. She's amazing.
She kind of popped into this community, I guess. Same time I did, pretty much. It was she and I and Mara were kind of triplets almost.
Yeah, you guys we got the triplets going on here. All right. Yep. And so Song punches through again. She's on the junk planet, right? So she punches through where she was hiding her ship, right? And she's got this is an A-wing, right?
No.
So which one is
it looks like a Y-wing.
Okay. I'm not too savvy with a lot of ship details, and I'm still learning.
The A-wings are the small ones. The one that the kamikaze one from Return of the Jedi. That's an A-wing.
Okay, and it's more narrow. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. And then turning sensors on to active. So basically she's given, her protocols, what she's doing. And then and she asks her droid, she asks R4, do you see anything? They respond back and, basically don't see anything, and they blast off. Taking us into orbit, we can run a full systems diagnostic there while we wait for Leia. So basically she has to wait for Leia, but she's also compromising herself. And then here we go. We have IG-88 here. Humans are so stupid. You can't outwit a droid. And so basically he, starts tracking her.
Yeah, she's a tracking device onto her ship.
Correct. And I wonder what I should spend my bounty credits on. In 3, 2, and basically that's a little countdown here. And we have Leia and them back on the Falcon here now. So we went from that scene to the scene here. Welcome to Lothal Minor Kids. And so I was thinking about this because they did use that. Luke did reference us back to Ben Solo back in The Last Jedi when he has that remark about use the word kids. Well, Han uses this because I would say he's an alpha male, basically. We know that, right? But also Leia and Luke are 10 years younger than him? Something like that. He's a lot older because he was a young man or a kid through the Clone Wars, as we know. If you get into the lore of Han, he was a kid during the Clone Wars, and stuff like that. And if there's any one place where the galaxy's trash finally comes to rest, it's Lothal. And she basically says, "Sounds like you kind of love it, Han." And he goes, "Find me a smuggler who doesn't." And then Luke says, the environmental readings are terrible. Why would Siren Song be spending any time here? Well, maybe isn't. These are the coordinates she sent. So Leia's sticking up for her. So where is she? And then, well, you don't just sit still on orbit over Lothal. There's this place attracts all sorts of nefarious types. So Hannah's basically letting them know from experience, about this area. And there's the proximity sensors, a ship approaching its transponders masked. So basically, and then we have them getting shot upon here. And that's got to be her, right? We're being fired on. And so, we see them being fired on. And Han basically says, yeah, well, that's the deflectors, what deflectors do. So basically, he gets his deflectors on and keeps them relatively safe, I guess. So here we go.
Yeah, they're being attacked by IG-88.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I was going to get to that. So IG-88 shoots upon them and stuff, and he basically says they failed. Don't worry, I'm getting this out of here. And then Luke is like, here it comes, blah blah blah. And so they're having a lot of action. IG-88 basically recognizes the Falcon, and he's a Solo and Chewbacca. Now, or how are they not Hut food by now? So now he's going to take this chance to even pick up Solo if he can, because we know that Jabba has a bounty on Solo. So he's like, this is my lucky day. And so we see she is in hyperspace here. And almost done, R4. Do something for me in the meantime. Access my HoloNet public storage files. And basically what she's going to do is go into the Inscript sections. She's looking for old journals. They'll be in the transfers I made from the old opticals. And so she's going over her data and stuff because she knows she's being pursued, and she has a vital information for Leia, and she needs a way to get it to her if she doesn't survive. And we always see that in Star Wars. They got to get the information to them some way, somehow, right? So and she basically wants to search for Leia still. And she says the record that for me, use a key provided, and I'm ready to send my message once you're done. So basically she's going to send the message again. So there we go. And then she starts reflecting on her years being in solitude about her own family. And she also states that she's, witnessed being on her own. She's witnessed like the Alderaan being destroyed, the Death Star being destroyed, and how she hides her feelings about everything. And then how she missed her sister's birthdays and all this other stuff. So she's going through all this because she's been undercover for a very long time, right? And so she's reflecting on that, and that's why you see her kind of tearful here.
That was a hell of a birthday party. They didn't they didn't blow out the candles. They blow up
yeah, they blew up the planet or whatever. Oh my God. But yeah, so she's reflecting on everything right here, missing out on family functions, seeing the devastation of Alderaan, and all that, and what happened at Yavin and all that other stuff while she was undercover. And so she's just reflecting, and she needs to get the important data to Leia. So that's kind of heartwarming here. Or heartfelt there. And thank you, Matt G, for the big old happy excited face super sticker, and it's a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. You're greatly appreciated as well. And so she has to take chances basically. And so Leia's sitting there in contemplation here. So she's in the lounge of the Falcon here, and Luke comes up to her and starts chatting with her, and Leia asks Luke, how furious is Han over the damage to the Falcon? And basically Luke follows up, not as furious as he wants to be, since he knows you were the one that got it space worthy again in the first place. And then she says, for all his comments to me, there's really only room for one in his heart, this ship. And Luke's like, come on now. And he goes, you'll hurt Chewie's feelings talking like that. And she kind of smirks and says, oh, stop. And then basically he goes on, are you and Siren really that close? So he starts questioning that again. We're not close at all. Playing together as kids is one thing, but once we were both into our teens, the pressures of family pushed us in different directions. I was a senator's daughter and a princess of Alderaan. Siren's song was destined for the military service. We checked in over the HoloNet once a year, so no, not close. I'm just tired, Luke, tired of losing people. That's deep right there. She's like, I'm tired of losing people. You know, she's like within that, not even a year, she lost her planet. She's lost, you know, valuable pilots, valuable, you know, Rebel Alliance members. A lot of shit happened, and she's tired.
You know, just to compare it to Disney Star Wars, in Episode 8, she lost Akbar and didn't give a shit.
Right. She didn't give a shit at all, and he's the one that, you know, she's the one he goes to, you know, as a leader and stuff, and she didn't have no compassion for him whatsoever. So, yeah. And here we get the original lore, the true canon, and we have a lot of emotions. We have a lot of crap going on, a lot of like guilt, a lot of like pressure on Leia. She doesn't want to lose people, but she also knows that they will have to have loss. And so that's a hard place to be in, right? You know, you don't want to continue to lose people, but then you know that you are going to lose people for this cause. That is a hard place to be in. Very hard place. So basically she says, Mom, Mothma's worried about this mission. She approved it, but it's a tremendous risk, a tremendous expenditure of resources for one agent who has been off the network for so long. So now she's kind of spilling her guts to Luke on everything. You know, she's sharing her worries, you know, and all this, you know, are we doing the right thing? But I don't want to lose people too. So, you know, we are going to do it anyways, because, you know, basically she's tired. She's tired, you know, of losing, but she has to stick with the cause, right? You know, she can't be defeated. She can't have a defeatist attitude that we've seen in Disney trilogy, right? And when we do get her back, and she kind of questions that absence is going to raise suspicions. They'll spend weeks debriefing her. The default position we'll take is one of distrust. The whole thing is messy, risky, and messy. So she kind of understands the whole thing is that they want to bring her back. They don't want her to die. But it's a big risk as well because she's been undercover for so long. And Luke says, when Siren probably deserves a hero's welcome, and we have to assume the best about her. Yes, a hero's welcome at the very least. I'll walk her onto the bridge of Home One myself, hand in hand, like when we were children running across the Senate dais. And then Luke kind of assures her, we'll find her. You know, so Luke has always been the hopeful. We'll find her. And so we have Siren here in the ship, and she's in hyperspace here. And he says, we'll bring her back. And maybe in doing so, we can heal some of the pain caused by the death of so many others. So, Leia, are you okay? So basically, and we have them here, not even remotely, but ask me again after we have Siren safely back at the fleet. Again, showing a lot of emotion, showing a lot of what this, within this year, the Battle of Yavin, losing her family, her planet, everything is weighing on her. I think this is good storytelling. Even though the art's kind of iffy a little bit, I think this is good storytelling. We get an idea where they are at, like just months after Yavin, right? Very heartfelt, you know, kind of like heart-wrenching in a sense here. So there you go. So what do you think, Stig?
A lot of exposition in this comic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of hell of a lot of background stuff, but you know, it has some good Han Solo stuff, and I like that they showed, you know, the bedrooms on the Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that adds to the Han Solo lore a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And you have Luke and Leia bonding a little bit, and all in all, I think this is a very good comic.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. And then let's go ahead and look at the chat. And Lady Toriel, sorry, but that doesn't look like Leia. Yeah, it's a bit cartoonish here. There's some better art that I shared even with Stig and on Twitter that really looks like Leia. And they have her in a totally different outfit, which I think is appealing to the guys. But all guys, there we go. All guys.
Making up male feminists though.
And but it makes her look like a badass. It does. It does. You know, and that'd be a fun Leia to cosplay, the one I shared on Twitter. That would
Yeah,
be.
all you need is body spray.
No, I will find a bodysuit, not body spray. All right, so Chaos Man 17, hello, how are you doing? I find it crazy when I find out in Tales of the Bounty Hunters, IG-88 went full Skynet and decided to destroy all organics in a droid revolution. He even decided to take control of the second Death Star. Yes. Crazy droid. Crazy droid.
That one was pretty damn bloody too.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when he kind of woke up, he was ripping people to pieces. It was gory.
Yeah, it was pretty much gory here. And yeah, so that's another fun story. If you guys haven't read those Tales of Bounty Hunter, go ahead and check them out. They're fun and gory, and you know, and it's worth the read, even just to. It's great escapism. We'll go back to that. It's great escapism, right? And very much fun. And so far, I have on my list of members who showed up today to participate. I have, and I am keeping track. So just to show you guys, I am keeping track. Where's the thing here? So I'm keeping notes on my phone for every live stream on who's showing up, so I don't lose track whatsoever. And for my moderators and like Stieg, I will have something for you as well for supporting the channel.
No, you already gave me a Jaina Solo, so
okay.
That's more than enough for me.
Yeah,
you
and
so have to do that. You know,
he's being humble. He's being very humble, man, right there.
Yeah, you know, I'm very, I'm not very demanding.
Not very demanding whatsoever. Well, you know, it's just my gratitude given back. This channel is built to keep the love of Star Wars going, specifically for George Lucas era of Star Wars. And it wouldn't be here without all of you guys who come in for the live streams, all of you guys who watch the pre-recorded lore videos and compare and contrast whatever videos I put up, and for Stig for co-hosting coffee chat with me, and for the moderators that come in and keep the chat rolling pretty well.
I'm co-hosting because I think it's fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the point of this channel, is that I want you guys to enjoy yourselves, because your support keeps the channel going. But if I entertain you and it's enjoyable and you have a good time, it keeps the channel going. And so I'm very, very thankful for that as well. So we're not going to get into this whole mushy thing or whatever, but that's just the pure facts about that. Excuse me. All right. And then so Soul Assassin says IG-88 best moment was slamming the door on Palp's face.
Yeah, it did. That story though is pseudo canon.
Yeah.
It was written way before there even was an EU.
Yeah. Right.
But
so we say canon.
I'd say personally, I treat those books as tie-ins to the Marvel comics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, but they're so awesome though. Tales of the Bounty Hunters, especially the Dengar story, I thought was, you know, brilliant. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It all is. And like, you know, even the stories that are quasi or pseudo canon are always fun to get into, right? Because we have what if stories in there. And even the what ifs infinity stories are pure fun to read, because we have Leia, one what if story, our infinity stories, Leia goes to the dark side, right? That was fun.
Yeah, and you have you know, the Brian Daly Han Solo books?
Yeah.
Also great. They're great fun. But they don't fit well with the rest of the EU. Yeah. So in my head canon, I guess, I have those in between the, you know, the Marvel comics from the 80s as well, because they certainly have the same tone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But that's just my personal thing, though.
Yeah, and everybody has, and this, okay, so this is going to be another segue into one of my my shows I have on the channel, and then we'll get back into the comic and stuff, is that Talking EU is basically my way of celebrating the individual I interview and how they got into Star Wars through the EU. Everybody has their own personal story, right? Stig, yours is not going to be anywhere near mine. Mine is not going to be anywhere near Matt's or even Ryan Kennel. We all have our own origin and our own story to get into the EU, and our own likes, dislikes, you know, and everything when it comes to the EU. We all have our own story. That's what Talking EU is about. And my Talking EU is not just about interviewing like prominent EU fans or prominent channels. It's about interviewing anyone who loves the original EU. And if it's just only for the games, that's fine. If it's only just for the comics, that's fine. My thing is I want to expose you or get you in the limelight of your adventure through the EU, not mine and not Stig's, not anybody else's, but yours as the individual. And so I will, and I do plan on doing like 2 to 3 interviews a month. So I have a lot of people to get through, but I am reaching out to EU fans to interview them. And so we do have Tim and Matt this month. Next month, I'm talking to, I have one I'm talking to, and then I think, well, actually 2, one officially confirmed, the other one I haven't reached out to yet, so I'm not going to say their name, but Miss Martin Muses is one of them for September. So we're just going to nail down the date for that. So
yeah, let's nail Miss Martin Muses in September.
Nail her down. And then Miss Martin Muse is like, she wants to expose us.
Yep. She wants to expose people and nail them in September.
Yep. And she's like, moi? Yes, you, darling. Yes. Yeah. And then I have another person in mind. But like I said, I want to be that Talking EU, I want it to be the gem of my channel where it's only a couple of times, maybe 3 times, but a couple of times during the month. So people are really excited to hear what this interview with these individuals, you know.
Have you interviewed Mara yet?
Not yet. And she's another one. It's like I said, I have this whole list of people that I want to interview, and even people that maybe you guys never heard about, but I have noticed that are really into the EU.
Yeah, you have Rev Kev.
Mm-hmm.
You know, excellent fellow.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then she's all that escalated quickly.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Alora. Compose yourself.
All right. So yes, and so that's my plan with Talking EU. So, and then I did have a great conversation with Lady Toriel. She is one, if you ever get in conversation with her about Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, she goes really, really deep into that.
Yeah.
And she's a joy to chat with and everything. I do have great conversations with her when I have a chance to chat with her. And, you know, even Stig, like I said, everybody has their own way of like digesting the material that they consume, right? They have their own way of interpreting how it makes them feel, their experience. And that's what I want to celebrate. And I don't really want to nail them down. That's what I want to celebrate. There you go. That's a better choice of words. And you never know. I might even have
I'm not nailing you. I'm just celebrating.
Yeah, I'm going to nail you down and I'm going to celebrate you, you know, kind of worship. No, I don't know. Yeah. And then you never know. I might have Soul Assassin on too. So.
Oh, yeah. He's an excellent EU person.
Yes, exactly. Expose and nail. At least take me out to Dex's Diner first. Oh, goodness gracious. This is fun. Yeah, so there we go. You know, not very fine choices of words, but you guys all know what I'm talking about at least. So, and they were fun to play with. Those words were fun to play with. But let's get back into the comics here. And let's see here. I'll turn off the cam. All right. So again, in this picture, this image I used for the thumbnail here, because I thought that it really got into how these 2 comics make you feel in a sense, because they are in dire straits. They are in desperate hope, right? So I think Desperate Hope. Wait, these two comics are called Shattered: A Shattered Hope. I think the title's a little bit misleading, but maybe we'll talk about this when we're done with the second one. I think maybe it should have been named better, but I get what they were going with the type of mood they were going with and how Leia feels about everything, right? So here we go. So here's the second one here. This is number 2 in A Shattered Hope here. And classical here, just classical images that were basically just edited in, right? So for the cover, that's what I got with this. Nothing significant. So basically, a message is received from Princess Leia's childhood friend, Saren Song, a rebel agent who went undercover in the very earliest days of the rebellion. Saren has been out of contact for so long that there is no way to know if she can still be trusted, but Leia is willing to give her friend a chance. But while en route to Saren's location, the Millennium Falcon carrying the princess, Luke, Skywalker, Han Solo, and Chewbacca is attacked by the infamous droid bounty hunter IG-88. While the crew has been forced to flee, searching for a safe place to effect repairs on the Falcon, the doubts about Saren and the strain of the mission are taking their tolls. Of course.
You know what? If they do like a holovid of that droid in high definition, right?
Okay.
They'll have IG ADHD.
Very true. Very true. All right. So we have Leia and Han working on the outside of the Falcon. They're in space. But what? Leia's not Mary Poppins. She's in a suit.
Oh yeah. Look at that. They have to wear suits in space.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Not in Disney Star Wars.
You know the Leia Poppins scene though? It's actually copied from Rebels because it happens to Kanan.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's blind and he still makes it back.
I guess who did that one?
Yeah, Dave Filoni.
Right.
The guy who came up with what was done to Luke in episode 8. That was his idea.
Yeah, right. And so they're in interstellar space. They had to get away from IG-88, who basically was fired upon them, and they did receive damage, right? And can you hurry it up, your worship? And so the dynamics between them, I think is awesome because we see this push and pull between how they feel about each other, but trying to deny it, having that playful yet staunch courtship kind of deal going on and denial of liking each other. So we see the early stages of this. And so basically she responds back, would you rather I went back inside and you get Luke or Chewie to help you? Oh, right. Your only functioning space spare pressure suit is a woman's size small. I'm trying not to think about who it used to belong to. Talk about being jealous. What'd you think about that, Stig?
I think he should just tell her to shut up.
Just shut up and help. And
focus on the task.
And then that's right. Keep that jealous streak in check. He basically tells her that. Whoa, you disgust me, she says. So you keep telling me, watch your step. We're almost there. And so, is that it? And so they're going back and forth. They're having this little quarrel, this little fight going on here. And,
it's the same kind of bickering that you see in Empire Strikes Back. Han and Leia are bickering all through the in the first 2 movies. It changes in the third. Yeah,
it does. Significantly, it does. And we know why, because we see why in Empire Strikes Back, right? we see that shift, that final acceptance of how much they care and love each other, right? Right now, they're in denial. You know, we have this bickering going on, this flirtatious bickering, I guess you can say. You know, and so basically now Han says, consider space worthy. We can rescue lights, resume light speed without boiling the fluidics. So basically,
Wait a minute. When women nag at you, it's actually flirting?
There can be some flirting, just like a man when they nag back at you. It could be some flirting depending on the circumstances.
Well, shit. I missed out on a lot. I get nagged at constantly.
Oh, goodness. And ladies and gent in the chat, he now has a realization that he's missed out on a lot. He's had a breakthrough.
I'm running a D&D game with 4 women, and they nag at me constantly. I'm like, oh.
It depends on the circumstances, though. It does. Seriously, it does. But we're not going to get in a dynamic of like flirtation and stuff like that. So, yeah, not right now.
I'm not kidding. They're threatening to send me Paltrow candles.
Yes.
Not a good thing.
Yes, lovely Paltrow candles. Yes, yes, yes.
The scent of a woman.
Right, because I think you need one.
Yeah, no. I don't need the candle.
So when you play with your blow up doll, you can light your candle and you can have scent of the woman, so you can experience more realism.
That's nasty. Gwyneth Paltrow blow up doll with a pack of 12 candles.
You can light them up all around your bed and have quite an experience.
Yeah, no. No.
Oh, God. Okay, so Miss Martin Musa says, finally, he gets it.
Yeah, when a woman sends you a Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candle, she means business, right?
And then she says, yuck. Okay, let's get back to the Star Wars business here at hand.
Yep.
So assassin TMI.
Like wax candles and says, wax on, wax off. And I'm like, I'm not whacking off to that.
I don't want to know what you're going to do once you get those candles.
I know what I'm going to do if I get those candles. I'm going to light them. I'm going to sit there and gag on spite. Because if I get a gift, I have to use it. Otherwise, it's
disrespectful.
Yeah. Which is why I fear those candles, because I have to burn the candle if I get it.
Well, OG Mara Jade, we have this on live stream now, documented, that once he gets them, he has to light them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have all that.
Puking during D&D.
Mm-hmm. And then Miss Martin Musa says, the candles aren't nagging. It's it's unbridled revenge. That's what she says.
Yeah, well,
And then Vertical Horizon says, they'll probably explode like a ticking time bomb. Like that one candle.
It happened, though. One of the Paltrow candles exploded.
Yes. Yes. Talking about.
Yeah, the guy who had lit it got the Paltrow scent all over his face.
I'm not going to go anywhere near that one right now. We're not turning this into that kind of channel. All right. Focus now. Focus. All right. So let's go on. Next time we need a quiet place to repair this flying junk heap, choose some place warm. I hate the cold. So basically that's what sounds like Leia. And then Luke is like, Leia, you have a message coming in. And so we have this right here. They're getting out of their spacesuits here, right? And, I'm like looking at this and like Han's looking like he's taking a peek. Just saying.
That Leia's outfit, when she's pulling her pants off and all that, it looks like Ripley in Alien.
Yeah?
At the end.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. But I just, the way this looks here, it looks like Han is taking a peek.
Yeah.
Peek at her
Totally is.
ass. Yeah.
Totally is.
He's that kind of man. He's that kind of man.
Yeah.
Just saying. And it's not bad. People all do that. I do take peeks at stuff. It's human to admire something that looks nice in front of you. Just saying. Just saying. It's not toxic.
No,
so
it's a compliment.
Yes. All right. So basically she says from a Syrian song and over the HoloNet just live like before. So she's like, oh shit, they're like, oh shit, what the hell's going on here? I think it's inscripted. She's told, let me see. So basically they review the message basically. That's not a code. I can't believe that she would keep transmitting over open channels. Basically, that's what Luke tells her. And then Leia responds to that she remembers, she can't believe that she remembers this is a story we wrote as a child in our own made-up language. So basically, she's sending a message in their own made-up language that her and Leia made up as children. So that's, I guess you could say that's smart. Even though she has to, send it over public channel, she's sending it in a way to where only Leia can understand it. So there you go. And I can't believe I can remember how to read it. Hey, Chewie. And then he responds, and I'm not going to.
He says, woof.
Woof. Woof. Yep, there you go. I did. There you go. And stand by for the coordinates. And then Han goes, hey, hold up just 1 second. First, I'm the captain, and that's my chair. You know how he feels about people taking over his ship and stuff, right? That's his baby. Secondly, I'm the only one here who is going to be giving Chewie coordinates. Thirdly, this is starting to feel like some wild bantha chase.
Yeah, he does have a little point there because he is the captain. You can't have the passengers willy-nilly just punch in coordinates and fly the ship to wherever they want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, he's also being possessive about the ship, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Soul Assassin says, good to know rubbernecking exists in a galaxy far away. Yes, Han was really taking a peek, and that's how I got from that. He was taking a peek.
He wanted to rubber.
Right? And we'll just leave it at that. We don't even know what this Syrian song's saying or playing at. She's an undercover agent for the rebellion. So he's questioning all of this. And on top of that, I was like, get the hell out of my seat because I'm captain here, And at least she was. That's all we're sure of. And then there's IG-88, that droid is bad news. And so they're like weighing all this information, all the stuff that's going on. They had to stop and repair parts of the ship, blah, blah, blah. The rescue operation is my command. Syrian Song is an agent of the rebellion. We're bringing her in, Chewie. And then so Chewie responds, Han's about to give you coordinates. And Han is over here acting all smug and pissy towards her because, again, they've been, going at each other here for quite a while now. So, and they're both stubborn-headed. They're both strong-headed here, which they complement each other so much. And we know their story. If you are familiar with the EU post-Return of the Jedi, we know their story afterwards, right? So we're seeing the early dynamics of a relationship slowly forming, I guess you can say. So there we go. And they both are stubborn and all that. And then now at the Corellia shipping lanes. So now we're at the Corellia shipping lanes, and look at that. There's a lot of traffic going on there right now. And she is underneath one of the freighters there. And I believe, I will just get into it. And she's like, what? Right on. I asked you to set an alarm. Thanks are for, where are we? And so basically, she finds out where they're at. I never knew these ships' convoys were so slow, but I guess that's Imperial profit margins for you. Slow and steady wins the race, but I'm happy to hide in the sensor shadow for as long as possible. So basically, again, we've seen this in Empire Strikes Back. but hiding, and even in later or earlier comics before this, hiding in certain areas of a larger ship, you know, you don't get sensed and stuff. It keeps you from being sensed, right? So I think that's a clever thing. Let's fire up the hollow net. So basically, she's still trying to get a hold of Leia, see if anyone's there. And so we get back to IG-88.
He's basically on the other side of the convoy.
Yeah.
Above her or under her, whatever. You know, it's in space, but he's tailing her.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting how even these space lanes, even if they're not going into hyperspace right now, there is space lanes?
Yeah.
And that's for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm. So you don't get squashed.
Yeah, and so you don't run into things or compromise yourself or whatever. Yeah. So that's very interesting here. And we even see, like, even the Rebel Alliance, when Home One fleet, they're always bunched up in a group like that to keep a course familiar and together as well, because that protects them, but also too, it's to keep any ships from running, you know, coordinates well maintained to keep the ships from running into any gravity wells, you know, planets, stars, or what have you. So, and then basically, he says, homing device signal strong and consistent, almost too easy. But that's humans for you, stupid and profitable. And basically he goes on to say, 2 bounties, serene song for the Imperials and Han Solo for the Hutts. I'll be rich. I'm going to get myself repleted in high density frick. Hold on. And so basically he's like, okay, I have 2 now that I can take advantage of. Might as well, right?
High density, HD.
Mm-hmm.
I called it. IG-88 HD.
HD. There you go. You just predicted that so well, didn't you?
Yes.
You're a prophet now. I wonder if you're going to get those candles. Can you tell us that?
I don't want to think about that.
All right. Here, her communications array just powered up. Showtime. So now he's going to pursue her. So here we go. I knew you'd recognize it, Leia. Arthur, you got those coordinates punched in? And so basically she knew, you know, she gets information that Leia recognized it, and now they're in somewhat a contact, I guess you can say. I'm seeing a minor power drain somewhere in the rear left quadrant. Confirm it's not going to affect the nav or light speed engines. And so she's talking with R4. Well, run whatever diagnostics you can on the way. I'm anxious to get going, to get home. And then basically IG-88, this is so easy. I'm almost offended. And there's a bit of sarcasm there, right? So she punches through to the Owaka. Is that how you say it?
What?
I
can't read it because it's too far away.
I'll zoom in. So
Owaka Prime.
Yeah, Owaka Prime. Yeah. Kind of sounds Hawaiian. Okay. Yeah. Wildlife Reserve. Owaka Prime. I love this place even before I knew it actually existed for real. So many children's hollow novels were set in this mythical place. Way back during the Rakatan Empire. Again, continuity here. You know, if you guys know the EU, know what she's talking about. This world was designated as a wildlife sanctuary away from the wars with the Gree and the Kwa. So there you go. There's some continuity reference right there. Then the slave revolt and the plague collapsed the empire, and Owaka was forgotten. A smart and forward-thinking nascent republic took steps to ensure the world's safety and status, and for tens of thousands of years, this world has thrived with all sorts of species, rare and otherwise extinct. Children everywhere dreamed up stories and adventures set on Owaka Prime. So basically, we get a little glimpse of like a small little world building of a planet that basically is the galaxy's wildlife sanctuary preserve, right? So there you go. And there's a reason why we are getting this glimpse here. There's a reason. I'm not going to say it right now. We'll get to that here soon. Right where, we're here. So now we just, and then, are for the alarms go off. What is it are for? That power drain, where is it coming from? Well, we know where it's coming from. IG-88 planted it on her ship, right? And there it is, right down here below. So, so basically, she realizes now she's being tracked, and stuff. So she's like, oh shit, he's on his way. And here we go. Tragically so, he responds back to her response of being trapped. I'll drive that ugly ship to the surface and collect my prize. But first, and so, he starts pursuing her and, all of that.
And he wants to snipe R4, I think.
Yeah, that's what he's doing down at the bottom below. I hate seeing a fellow droid working at cross proposes. So basically, he's like, I hate to do this, but I'm going to take out your droid. Even an astromech. So he's going to take him out because, you do need the droids to help you power these ships, right? So
yeah, it's an astromech droid. So fighter ships need them to plot the hyperspace jumps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what an astromech does. It basically helps, helps with maintenance and space travel for ships.
Exactly.
Which is why it's a little bit of a plot hole in The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
How did Luke get to Octu without an astromech droid?
Correct.
Because you can't plot the hyperspace jumps yourself.
And then how did Rey leave?
Yeah, because there's too many variables.
Mm-hmm.
Space moves, right? It doesn't stay still.
No, it doesn't.
You need an astromech droid to make the jumps. You can use the nav computers, but bigger ships use those.
Yeah,
better nav computers. But with an X-wing,
mm-hmm.
you will need an astromech droid, which is why all of them get equipped with an R2 unit or whatever. You see it in the movies.
Yeah.
It's you need to have one of those.
But now, did you see the new Force ability that's being introduced in High Republic?
Yeah.
Hyperspace tripping. So now they're just going to say Luke and Rey use hyperspace tripping to navigate their way through hyperspace.
Yep.
Which then makes astromechs not, very sufficient anymore, really. If you're a Force user, you really don't need them. But I think it's so retcons the astromechs a little tiny bit, not much. But still.
it makes them pointless for Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And
even though we see them being used all the time in the movies.
Yeah.
With Jedi.
Why weren't they being used in the prequels then?
Correct.
When there was a lot of Jedi.
Yeah, and if you don't see that as a retcon and a plot hole, then I'm sorry. I think you're kind of lost when it comes to the lore. Really.
Yeah, it means they didn't even pay attention while watching the movies.
Correct. Because even I don't have to insert any of the original EU or canon from the EU to share with you guys that this is pointless. The main concern here now is that the movies that George created, the 6 movies, are the initial foundation, right? And so those already set the rules of the world building when it comes to those devices, and yet they're being retconned.
Yeah, and to be fair, we can't use the EU as an argument to say, Disney are doing this and that wrong, because they did scrap the EU. Fine. But the movies are still canon. So if they're contradicting the movies, that's a massive problem.
But the thing is,
Disney said that everything story-based was going to be canon after they scrapped the EU. And and they said there would be perfect synergy between all the different mediums.
Yeah.
Well, that went off out the window on day one. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
all they had to do was follow the movies.
Yeah.
6 movies, just watch them, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they had
Exactly.
to do. Didn't even do that. I mean,
And on
the 6 movies
mm-hmm.
aren't complicated by
No, they're not.
design. George actually simplified, myths and legends and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually one of the most simplified stories,
Correct.
and they can't even pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big fail,
Well, when Han talks about going into hyperspace, making the jump in A New Hope, that is pretty much simplified.
Yes,
That is simplified, like world building piece for hyperspace hyper jumps, right? Is that you have to make exact coordinates, or if you don't, you can be dead.
Yeah, and ever since then, in the 6 movies, we're shown how it works.
Mm-hmm.
General Grievous can't escape a Coruscant because they're blocking the hyperspace jump.
Yeah.
So, plot point, and they have to, the rebels on Hoth, they have to get off the planet, past the Star Destroyers that are blocking the hyperspace jump, and then make a jump.
Yeah.
Also a plot point. And then you have the same thing with the blockade on Naboo.
Yep.
You see the blockade, it's just like a little cluster of ships, really. It doesn't cover all the sides of the planet. They're blocking the hyperspace lane, and they have to get through that to make the hyperspace jump, right?
Yeah.
But according to Disney, Padme and Kenobi and the others could have just made the hyperspace jump while on the planet, which means the blockade is pointless, utterly pointless. And if they could do that, which they should have, if that's how hyperspace jumping works now, right? Then Qui-Gon and Kenobi would have never met Anakin.
Right.
Because they need him because they get damaged when they try to break through the blockade. So they would have never gone to Tatooine because they would never have that damage to the ship.
Correct.
Which means that the entire Star Wars saga would have never happened due to that retcon. Which is staggeringly incompetent.
Yeah. And when you go with like, oh well, when you talk about canon, Disney Star Wars is not canon when you look at the logistics of it.
I mean, it's at least stick to the movies.
Correct. Because when
be that hard.
Because like my thing, here we go, compare and contrast, which I haven't been using that word lately a lot, but I do use it a lot. The original EU, along with the movies, is canon, right? It's all canon because it was all under the guise of George Lucas and his approval and stuff like that. And what we see is what he wants us to see, right? So now that we look at Disney Star Wars, and we can get into a lot of like we can get deep into this discussion, but I'm trying not to, but I'm just going to make a point here. When you hear George Lucas say this Star Wars is not my Star Wars in that interview, that goes to show it's not canon because it's not originated from him through his company, his approval, all of that. Right. And so he had no involvement with it whatsoever. And so when people argue about the gist of canon is from the original maker, and his approval and his being involved. And Disney is none of that. And so we could sit here and debate this little thing with it. But Tim, Open Airlock Policy, has a great video on that, and he does a lot of good research on that. You guys need to go watch. And I stand beside him with that. Is that the original canon will always be George Lucas era of Star Wars versus this new stuff that's coming out. And so there we go. So anyways, let's get back to this. So basically, he takes out R4, basically one of her safety nets for, you know, navigating and all this other stuff. And so now we have Han and all them coming in out of, they're in hyperspace right now, making their way towards the coordinates that she gave them. And basically Han says, nearly there, your ladyship. And again, we have all of this like banter going back and forth between the two. Are you going to talk to Siren Song like that? Or am I just the lucky one? She tells him. And it looks like Chewie's laughing, maybe, I don't know. And he goes, yeah. Owaka Prime, here we come. And then basically Luke says, you nervous? And she responds with, it just occurred to me after what happened to Alderaan, I shouldn't expect my opportunities to reconnect with childhood, or I shouldn't expect many opportunities to reconnect with childhood friends. That's sad. And then she's all, there she is. Or basically he says, there she is. And so here we are here. A transponder code checks out. That's an Alliance Y-wing. It's a Y-wing. And right there, it's supposed to be, and then they're like, whoa. And they see that they get the direct hit to R4 from IG-88. So he takes out IG-88 right there.
No, he takes out R4.
I mean R4, sorry. Ugh, sorry. Wrong droid. My bad. And then Siren, she's like, Siren. And then, you know, she cries out for R4. And like so much Durasteel and circuitry. So he's talking, IG-88. And so basically they're like, oh crap, she's being attacked. And he basically, Han says the IG 2005 kilometers is 5 kilometers off and closing fast. Chewie, get those deflectors up and keep them angled against his attack and watch it. He's fast. And then he goes on to say, and so Princess, care to tell me why that killer droid is everywhere your dear old friend is? And then she follows up with Serene, this is Leia. I'm close by. And she responds back to her. And then she tells Leia, he killed R4. The only one in all these years who knew who I really was, who I could talk to. So now she's like, she created a huge bond with that droid because they've been on, you know, on this mission together. So that's really sad. My only friend, that bounty hunter, killed him. So basically that she, you know, was her friend and stuff. And then Leia responds back, Siren, I'm here now. You're with friends. But Siren, that killer is still out there. You have to stay focused. And she goes on to say, we can do this together. And we see one of his sensor eye bulbs here or whatever. IG 2002, the Falcon Solo. Are you there? So he calls out to Solo.
It's like, don't cry. I'm your friend too.
I'm your friend. Just come and meet with me. And then basically says Solo, no regretting or no greetings for an old friend from his space or his spice running days. So he's referring back to, you know, Han and his spice running days. And if you have a chance, haven't had a chance, pick up the Han Solo trilogy. It's fun. It's a fun read. We were never friends, he tells him. Han, you want me on the turret guns? You know, that's Luke talking to Han. He's like, no need, kid. And so we get to see what Mon Mothma equipped the Falcon with. Look at that. So he has some new equipments to use. And he goes on to say, Mon Mothma upgraded us fully automated, slaved to the sensor array. Hold on to your britches, everyone. So look at that. And so he starts firing, you know, they start firing on each other or whatever. And then so the Falcon grew talons. And then so they like get Siren out of there. our Y-wing is no match for the ship, basically. So they try to, extract her and get her on board. You have to draw his fire, Han. So basically they try to get her out of there. And he's like, not a problem. Why aren't the turret guns hitting him? And Luke is like in distress about that. Because Luke, he's already done the match and found our angles of fire and is staying in the dead zones. I hate droids. So he tells him what's going on. You may want to think about sending a distress call, Leia. And so they go on here. And Luke says, let me try. And he's like, kid, don't touch. And then he's all, just let me try. So Luke is going to try. And so we see that, and, they're like, Luke, and then I can feel it, Ben, it's flowing through me. Ben Kenobi. So basically he gets a moment with Ben again. And he's told, Luke, Jedi mysticism is all well and good, but this old girl's got tolerance, and you're away into the red zones. And he's like, one moment, Han. He's all got him. And then he ends up shooting him. So he connects to the Force like how he was taught by Ben when he shot down the Death Star, right? When he shot that killing blow to the Death Star, right? So a lesson he learned. We see it right here. He learned that lesson. He learned to connect to the Force and trust himself when making, critical shots and stuff using the Force. So there we go. The Force guided him. And so he makes that shot. And then, how did you do it, Solo? IG-88 is now like in disbelief. How did you beat me? And then, they're like, Luke, and then Luke. And they get him back from his concentrating with the Force, because he's still learning how to concentrate to the Force. So all his mind is within it, right? And so they're in disbelief, but they are happy. He's like, kid, not bad. Leia, are you there? So basically she's, Siren's calling out to her. My life support is failing. I have initiated time self-destruct and removing all sensitive data and wiping the ship's computer. So basically she gets prepared to leave her ship. I'm ready to come in. So she's all suited up for space. Oh my God. Look at that. And the Millennium Falcon en route to the fleet. I need to prepare you for your debriefing, Siren. I'm sorry to say this, but you've been undercover for such a long time. And this goes back to her discussion with them about having to have weeks of debriefing and stuff like that, just in case, she was compromised. And that's rightfully so. And then here we have a scene here. Luke is still training. Isn't that an interesting concept? He's got his saber out and he's still training, So there we go.
All those idiots on Twitter saying he never trained. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did he get so strong? He's just a Mary Sue. He never trained, blah, 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 blah. They go down that little slippery slope and they don't even know the lore. They don't even know exactly how he got there because they don't wish to know. They don't wish to put the time and effort to read or even look at comics. So There we go. And then, so Leia starts debriefing, Siren. For longer than your mission called for, it raises a question. So, yeah, she's got a point. It raises questions. She was out longer than expected. I will support you in any way I can. This is all that matters. Imperial Geological Surveys. And she's like, what surveys? Hey, don't underestimate that data. And then she goes, explain. So then we've seen that sanctuary planet, Owaka Prime, right? This goes into that. So we find out why she gathered these geological surveys. The Empire sends dozens, hundreds of teams around the galaxy, evaluating worlds, collecting massive amounts of information, and based on that, assigns mining crews to some worlds, Argo droids to others, military garrison colonists, you name it. So she's basically established a pattern with the Empire and, using worlds, right? But the worlds of no practical use, they close the file on them. And then Leia responds with, and never to return. At least not for a long time, she responds back to Leia. The Alliance can use that data, find out where the Empire's been, where it's going, places to hide, where to insert advanced teams, and so on. It just looks like raw geological data, but if you read between the lines, and then Leia responds with, this is smart, Sirin, and you're right, this is worth a lot to the rebellion. I'm going to present this to Mon Mothma before your debriefing. I think it'll go a long way to getting you back to your old life once again. And so she has a great point with that. She established a pattern with the Empire and how they move across the galaxy and how they use worlds and ignore others and stuff like that, which is very valuable because the Rebel Alliance needs to know their patterns and needs to know where they can go and hide to be in seclusion and safety, right? So here we go. And she, you could see her, her manner here, it's sorrowful. She's experienced a lot as well. She gave up a lot in her whole life for this information. I know when I stayed out there, I stayed undercover. I was running the risk of never making it back. I had a rendezvous and extraction plan, but I deliberately missed it once I had a line on this data. The mission became my life, that and my R4 unit. I don't know what I'd be returning to now. I know what you mean. And I guess that was Luke responding to her. It seems like a lot of us who have lost family, worlds, even identities, we find a new home in the Alliance. It's basically after Alderaan, after Yavin. Again, so we go back to that. They're finding their place back in the galaxy, I guess you could say, from all this loss and all this hardship that they went through. And that takes a lot of strength and tenacity, I guess you can say. Which is why I was not going to let anything stop me from bringing you in. You're one of us, Sirin. I was worried, Sirin says, the Princess Leia Organa would forget who I was. And then Leia responds with, never. And no one calls me that except the guy flying the ship and only to get under my skin. And then she follows up with Leia, what's his story anyway? He seems sort of dashing. And then Leia responds with, in his own head maybe, but I suppose he does have his moments. There you go. It's a kind of a revelation here of how Leia feels about him. She's kind of softening up to him, but she's denying it because he's a scoundrel, and all this other stuff. So, and a bit of jealousy too. And then Han responds, I heard that. And then basically he talks to Chewie. Did you hear that? I heard that. I have my moments. And Chewie responds back. And that's the end here. So what do you think about that, Stig?
Yeah, it's a filler episode, I guess. But all in all, I think this is a good comic. The artwork is great. You have them face off against IG-88. You get a little bit of lore tossed in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. It's like an average fun little thing, but you can also
5 is average.
Okay, so it's a little above average then. Okay, awesome. Soul Assassin, never trained. Have they even seen the movies? Luke trains on the Falcon, on Dagobah, in the films. And then he has a face palm there. Yep. And then Monkey Jeebus, I just need to lie to myself less and not let emotion make the decisions. Let's see here. Where am I at now? Matthew, Luke trained in between Empire and Jedi as well. He is quite skilled by the time he is at Jabba's in Return of the Jedi, correct?
Yeah, they even point this out because we see his force powers have increased quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he has built a new lightsaber, and Vader actually compliments him for that because it's a big deal.
Correct.
It's part of those idiots that Luke and Baby Yoda is building a lightsaber together. I'm like, that's not how it works. He's supposed to build it alone. Even
Yeah.
Rebels, the Rebels show, explains this.
Yeah.
You know,
It's they're nuts the way they have to shoehorn things in just to have that moment, right? I even seen an article on, or no, actually, it's someone's YouTube channel, and I'm not going to say it here. I'll tell you in after this is done. But a YouTuber basically was like, the reason why they're connecting are the yellow lightsaber, and I don't remember the title. I'm just paraphrasing. The reason the yellow lightsaber is a connection to the original EU or Legends, and I'm like, really? But you'll say that with Grogu, right? Having the yellow lightsaber, but not with Rey. You can't have it both ways, you know. And or it's like proof that Filoni's connecting the EU Legends because of the yellow lightsaber, basically. But where was that, being said with Rey's yellow lightsaber?
yeah.
So I see the hypocrisy going on here. Monkey Jeebus, I saw the math and knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but I tried to fight against the odds and failed. So I'm not, let's see here. There we go. And then we have a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Abu Nas, sending love your way. And as I had to pop in to support, I am in school today, so it is back to class for me, but I have this week's coffee chat to listen to when I'm out running errands later on. Rock on. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're going to come back and revisit. There are some fun moments in this one that has nothing to do with Star Wars, but it's fun and all that, and it'll make you laugh. Let's see here. Vertical Horizons. Great dialogue and interaction between legacy characters. I haven't read this one before. Yeah, this is, I wouldn't say it's new in a sense that it was published in 2014 during the buyout. Yeah. And some books in that time frame were made for the old lore, and then some were put in and parts of it rewritten for the new lore, like the Tarkin novel was supposed to be.
And you want to know what's stupid about that? They changed the Tarkin novel, right?
Yeah.
And but it still references the Plagueis novel.
Yeah.
Which they decanonized. So it's referencing stuff that decanonized, which is okay. Well done. Smart move.
Yeah, correct. And I don't know exactly what part of the lore where it has Tarkin being gay, but I think it is like I don't think it's in the Tarkin novel, but I'm not too for sure. But my point is if it does have hints of that in there, and that's where it comes from, that's probably the only thing that they rewrote, and they forgot to take the Plagueis part out and rewrite the lore differently for that.
I bet you the SJWs are gonna lose their shit now with Tarkin being gay, because TK421 was his lover, right? Which means Han and Luke killed a gay guy.
Right. Can't have that.
They did. And appropriated his armor.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they want to be consistent, they should have a problem with that too. Like, the only gay guy in the movie, and they kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. And my point was with this, if the sexual preference change for Tarkin was in the novel, which again, I'm not 100%, because there's another piece of information. There's other Tarkin lore stuff out there. But if it's in the novel, that means the changes that they had them do to make that novel a part of their lore and not a part of the original lore, they only focused on the sexual preference part, not taking out the parts that reference any of the original EU, like Plagueis novel. You see where their focus is at? That's very telling, very much telling. Mind you, I don't care if about a character's sexual preference, but don't change an existing main or George Lucas character to fit your narratives. Make new ones. Make new ones for that, where they can have their own arc and they can have their own story, and you can also further develop that. And that's where I stand at. That's how I see it. Leave the beloved characters alone, like Lando, like Tarkin, and all of that. They're even trying to make Luke gay too, but leave them alone. Let them be just the way they're supposed to be or exist through George Lucas's eyes, right? Through the EU or through the previous lore, and create new characters. Create new characters with new sexual preferences, although that was never the focus in Star Wars anyways. We have gay Mandalorians, right? We have gay Mandalorian couples. We have, different sexual preferences in all these characters, right? And species and all of that. But that was never the focus. Never the focus of Star Wars. We never had to really focus on the sexual preferences. Yeah, we see romance happen with the main characters, Han and Leia, but that was more organic. That was, progressing the story, and that was part of the hero's journey and the mythos, right? If you get into that behind the OT and the characters, you will dive deep into like the feminine hero's journey, Han's hero's journey on his evolution of being selfish to selfless, finding love, from Leia going from being this crude businesswoman, I guess you can say, leader, to finding her feminine softness in her hero's journey and accepting love, like declining on love and being I wouldn't say selfish in that sense, but maybe that's the word I'm finding, or whatever, to softening up and finding love and finding her feminism. When we see that, even with her clothes change in, Return of the Jedi, she's wearing that dress and stuff like that. And I do have a video about that. And, but nowadays, people want, again, self-exertion into these characters. That's not needed. And
self-insertions is all about narcissism and nothing about writing a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Matthew got it, basically. And yes, I did send a tweet about this. And I was meaning to do a nice little, I wouldn't say moment of silence, but, just to give notice to this. But Jay Rensler had passed away. He was fighting cancer. And, he was responsible for, basically what he says, chronicalizing or, chronicle George's Star Wars, filmmaking. And even he did one on Indiana Jones as well. But he went and did the making of for, Star Wars and stuff, which is very informative. They're very informative. Vertical Horizons, they can't leave them alone because Luke, Han, Leia is Star Wars, and anything new they produce, you can tell, is revisionist fan history. So there you go. And then Matthew, Han became a general, and he was awesome in the X-Wing books. Solo Command was great. Yes. And in fact, this is a great segue to just remind you guys that we are doing the review on this novel here soon. I believe it's the 21st, and I'll pull up the information for that right now. So on the 21st, literature review at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on my channel. Hopefully Stig will be able to make it. He's still working his way through the novel. We do have Rev Kev will be on there with us. And I do invite extension out to people who have read it, that, and stuff, because I want, differing opinions and reviews and how they felt about the novel or whatever. So it's on the 21st, and I am excited about that. So we're not going to go through the whole series. I wanted this to be an opening, and the fans, you guys are not fans, but subscribers and followers did vote this to be the one to be reviewed. And I think it was perfect timing for the simple fact that the reimagined cover, of this novel will be coming out. And they basically rebranded the title from X-Wing Rogue Squadron to Rogue Squadron, which I think was a dumb move. And it's only for the movie the series or movies coming out for that. So I think having a stream on the beginning of the X-Wing novel series, there are 4 series, X-Wing series. There's 2 comic series, there's a novel series, and then there's the game series. But they're all X-Wings. They're all labeled X-Wing, right? And so it's a perfect timing to sit and review, have you guys in the chat come in, ask questions, talk about it, and break down this lore. Wedge is one of my favorite non-Force sensitive, non-Jedi pilots. I think he's amazing. And they're saying that, what's her name again? I forget the name of the person who's doing the movie. What was her name?
Yeah, the one who did the Wonder Woman.
Yes, and I can't think of her name and whatever. But anyways, I'm not too worried about that. But she's like, oh yeah, we're basing the story upon X-Wing Rogue Squadron, right? But then she goes on to say, but we need to make it more modern. Read between the lines on that. Making it more modern. What does that mean?
It means woke.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's going to be the woke squadron.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm not trying to give attention out to this other than in a stance of let's go ahead and go back to the heart of this. The heart of this is X-Wing Rogue Squadron, right? So this is perfect timing for us to go back and revisit the classic, revisit the true canon. And that's where my stance is. Instead of like going ahead and doing videos on they're tearing up this part of Star Wars or that part of Star Wars, or they're retconning this and retconning that. And this is whoever does this for their channels, more power to you. This is only my stance.
The people who does that for their channel also do review things for every damn thing Disney's giving out.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins, thank you. Go ahead.
It's like, yeah, we need to boycott this, except for all the stuff I've been reviewing, like Fallen Order, every damn individual episodes of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, the Mandalorian, and the Star Wars, Squadrons, the video game. So basically, please boycott it so I don't have to. you know, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, right. And so my point was getting at is that instead of spending my time doing that, I'd rather spend my time giving you guys the true canon, the heart of Star Wars, to keep it out in front of you so that I know we all lose. We have that breaking point of losing hope, right? I've heard it through Stig. Like, he's like, I'm done. I have to sit back and step away from Star Wars for a time. We all get through that because it does affect how we look at the lore, right? The new stuff does affect how we look at the old. But by keeping the classical Star Wars true canon in front of you guys through my channel and through other channels like what Tim Open Airlock's doing, sometimes when we see Ryan post stuff, what he does, what Matt Wilkins does, even what Captain Fordo does and the Mandalore, so he has 2 channels, what he's doing, we're keeping this in front of you guys so that you have that hope, so you have that original lore in front of you, and that you can keep it in front of you so that you don't lose that feeling. Yeah, lost that loving feeling, no, but you don't lose that feeling and that joy that you get from the classical Star Wars.
Well, this shit isn't just about Star Wars though, because it's starting to happen with everything. You have the Wheel of Time TV show is coming up.
Yeah.
They race swapped the heck out of that one, and it does not make any kind of sense in the lore. And they've nerfed a bunch of the main characters' story arc, big time. So that one is utterly ruined. You have the shit they're doing with Tolkien. So that's another franchise that is being royally pissed on. And there's you have Marvel and DC there in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it with D&D and the D&D novel series, about the Drizzt, the Dark Elf. apparently having dark elves being the villains was racist all along.
Oh
So
Lord.
they're retconning it,
Yeah.
which means Dritz, the main character, who is a good dark elf, which was what made him special in the first place.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about him anymore because he's like one of out of 100,000 good dark elves now that
Mm-hmm.
were there all along. So there's nothing special about him. It's like I said in the tweet today. It's like having everyone in Metropolis get Superman's powers.
Yeah.
Means Superman would be nothing special.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so that's what they managed to do. So that's another one. Franchise, rest in peace.
Yeah. And then Vertical Horizon says here, and we're going to start closing up here, revisit a time when the creator had passion for what franchise they were working in and had respect for. Yes.
Actually, I'll modify that. Revisit a time when we had creators.
There you go. There you go. And then Monkey says it's really more fun to just take it all as multiverse magic, and everything is connected. Everything is connected, no matter what legal things say. It's our imagination, and corporates don't own that. I get what you're saying. Star Wars, in a sense, was never a multiverse, but that's a huge different topic to get into, right? The point of the channel is to keep the classic Star Wars alive.
Yeah, and
George Lucas
that's
era.
Star Wars up until the sale to Disney. George Lucas said that in an interview that Disney took down immediately because of copyright issues.
Yeah, because of copyright.
Yeah. Immediately, though, they got rid of that one. Well, George said, "Disney Star Wars is not my vision at all."
Yep, exactly.
And it's not Star Wars then, because he's the creator of Star Wars, and he says it's not Star Wars. So
yeah, exactly.
That means the Bad Batch, the sequel trilogy, the Mandalorian, all of it. It's not Star Wars. It just has the logo. That also means the upcoming Kenobi show.
By name only. And there's so much I want to say about that, and we'll talk about that maybe on a different stream about Kenobi. But like I said, I don't want to really give light to that. I want to give you classical Star Wars instead of focusing on that stuff.
Matthew says, he basically said Disney Star Wars isn't canon. No, he actually said Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars, which is worse for Disney, right?
And that's why they took down that video so quick.
Yeah, they got rid of it. You know what they did first, though? They had that question get edited out. Because they kept the interview, but that bit was cut out. I think Ryan reported on that. And then later, the video just, the interview stuff just vanished entirely. Yeah,
I caught on after it vanished. I didn't catch that part being edited out. So that's very telling. And Vertical Horizon says old vanguards is aging out and being canceled or shunned out of these properties by the activists and the new normie fans. At least that's how I see it. But the thing is, as old vanguard, we raised another generation to follow us. If you raised your kids right in the lore and stuff like that, and you got them into that. And there's even kids like little as 11 years old who question, I've read this on Twitter, question the choices of The Last Jedi and how they took it and stuff. So they know, they see.
Here's the thing though. If you hate this stuff, stop paying for it.
Right.
That's all you have to do. I mean, I see people going, I hate the new Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And, 2 hours later, this Bad Batch episode was okay. Like, you just enabled the stuff you hate.
Yeah.
You're not helping. You're making it worse.
Correct. So now we're going to come to the end of this here. Yeah, we had a little discussion about canon versus what canon, what is Star Wars, what isn't, and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. We still need to discuss some of this, all that. So next Thursday, we will continue on in Rebellion Volume 2. going on further into the story, we're getting into the Empire portion of the comics in the Rebellion. It's called Empire. Very good. I've read through some of them. I also read into ones that we'll be reviewing like within a few weeks from today. And it's Luke's arc of Jabim. And so I'm very much excited to get there, although the storytelling between now and when we get there is great as well. But that, and I was like nerding out with Stig. I'm like, oh my God, this was freaking great. And so if you know the Battle of Jabim arc with Anakin, you'll further understand, even though the Shadows of Our Father comics will give you flashback points in a sense on what happened during that time frame. But if you read Battle of Jabim, you'll know further exactly what's going on, although you don't need to read them. But it's a great story. They're a great read back to back, even if you isolate those two together. A great read. Again, great storytelling, just like this comic these two last comics we just reviewed. We got to see the emotional turmoil that's affecting Leia, Luke, and Han with recent events of losing Alderaan, the battle at Yavin, losing friends, and all of that. We're seeing all of that. That's great writing. It just like tugs at the heart. And when you read these and go back and watch A New Hope or go and watch Empire Strikes Back, you get to see the evolution of these characters, right? And that's what is great about this. It makes sense. Instead of like them ignoring losing critical friends and key people, like we see Leia ignoring the loss of Akbar. We get to see the emotional pool, and it makes the stories much more worth getting into. It makes the journey much more worth getting into. It makes us really get into the characters and what's going on with them, even when we see them in the movies. It is an expanded universe. It's not the explained universe. And that's the point of this all. And again, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in to today's coffee chat. I love doing these, and this coffee chat has came a long way. In fact, we're over a year, like slightly over a year since Stig started hosting this with me and us getting into the comics. And it's been a beautiful journey. And I want to, I've been going through some coffee chats, and I want to do like a little, like, thank you, fun little quirky moments of past coffee chats to share here soon. Maybe I'll do that for my birthday. Next coffee chat, August 12th. That's my birthday. I'm not canceling the show because it's my birthday. We'll still meet here. So I want to see everybody in the chat here next week with me. Invite friends to come in with you. Let's have some fun. Go through these comics, laugh. Maybe I'll have that video up of, of quirky past coffee chat moments. And we had a big one today. And that's what makes this fun, is that it's intimate, it's raw. We get into the lore. We may get off the lore and go into other areas, and it makes you guys laugh. That's what this is about. And it's because of you guys here. Thank you so much. And thank you, Stig, for sticking with me as my co-host for this. And are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, it got silent. Are you there with me?
Yeah, no, I was doing something.
Okay. We'll have to sit and go and, have a little meeting for coffee chat and, and go through some videos or try to find some quirky moments to clip and share.
I don't want to do that.
Why?
I hate watching myself and listening to myself. So you can do that, and you can play it when I'm not there.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe you could even maybe think about some past ones and just say, oh yeah, look for this, and it should be around this time frame. I don't know. You have a great memory. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and close it here. Thank you again, guys, in the chat. I did have a few members come in. Your guys' names are taken for the drawing for a copy of the painting. Thank you guys so much. Next coffee chat, my birthday. Maybe I'll show up with some cake and some coffee. Who knows? But thank you guys again. Thank you, Stig.
You should put a Paltrow candles on the cake.
No, thank you. Maybe I'll send you some so you can do that.
No.
No, thank you. And then again, thank you guys so much, and may the force be with you.
Have a good day.